Medic 1. Today I'm working on a 2005 Polaris Ranger. It needs front wheel bearings. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not. You can actually hear it, how noisy it is. As you can tell, the old bearing has got way too much play in it, up and down. So what we're going to do, of course, you're going to have to take the wheel off and then remove the Carter key, and then we're going to spin this nut off here with an impact wrench. Once you get your axle nut taken off, you can just push the axle through and catch it on the back side. And if your unit is four-wheel drive, you'll have a CV axle in place of this stub axle right here. Next step, you want to remove your brake caliper. It's just 2 bolts. One here and one right below it. Slide your brake caliper off. And just, we're going to let it rest on the arm here. If it will, normally. Just like that right there. Now, you should be able to pull your rotor and hub assembly straight off to expose the bearing. Next, you want to remove the retaining ring. Just go ahead and get the steering wheel turned all the way to the right to where you can get the best access to the bearing from the back side. We're going to drive it out this way with a air impact hammer. Go ahead and wash your hub down with some brake cleaner. You want to get all the junk out of here, if there is any. Give it a good washing. Make sure the threads are cleaned where your caliper mounts. Go ahead and get your new bearing unpackaged. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on only half the bearing, because whenever you go to put this in, it's going to smear all the way to the front. You don't want to just have it completely coated. So just get it started by hand, and we're going to tap it with a hammer ever so gently on the outside of the race. Next, we're going to get a tool and that'll fit the complete bearing. You don't want to tap on here, because if you tap here, you got a possibility of damaging the bearing itself. So always tap on the outside. So we're going to use a blunt object here, and we're going to hit the bearing in by hand. I'm going to finish the install with my impact hammer. Just catch the edge of that bearing right there. See how it changed tones? It's seated. Now install your snap ring. Make sure it pushes in all the way, clicks in. You're good to go. Reinstall your hub. reinstall your stub axle to the back. Go ahead and bolt your brake caliper back in place. Torque your spindle nut to 75 to 80 foot-pounds. I would go on the low side of 75, that way I had enough room if my slot didn't line up for my keyway or the Carter key. That way you could torque it and line it up just a little bit more if you have to turn it a little bit to get it to line up. Slide your dust boot back on, reinstall your wheel, and you're good to go. If you have any questions on how to replace front wheel bearings on a 2005, and this will, work on lots of other ATVs as well. Have a great day. More Medic 1.